think obviously at the start we went 12-0 up pretty quick, and I thought we looked pretty sharp, especially our right edge. A couple of quality tries. We thought they were a little bit tight defensively, and we executed pretty well. But then it ended up being a real tough battle. I think we started making a few errors coming up from our own line, and that sort of invited York in. And we knew they were going to run the ball on the last, but we didn't handle that real well for the try, and then they got us down our left as well. So there's a couple of things there that I thought we were a little bit slack with, but overall we've conceded 4 points. They've had a lot of ball, especially second half on our line, and we've kept them out. But I think there's some pretty important lessons for us in there. I don't think we were great second half in particular. We score, I think we're only in there 20 twice. And some of that is just down to us just making too many errors, again in yardage in the second half. But look, ultimately, poor conditions. We needed to win a game, and I thought we were pretty durable, holding our line under a fair bit of pressure in the second half.
Was that the most pleasing aspect of the way you defended your line?
Yeah, I don't think we were really great with the ball. There's a couple of real smart plays, and some of the things that Max is doing at the moment is world class. Really, how he gets the ball out of his hands so fast and so accurately. But yeah, I don't think we were that great really. I think there's some key lessons for us. But I thought, credit to York, I thought they really came after us physically, and we've won by 60 the last 2 games. So I don't think that's helpful really. So today would be really helpful in terms of stiffening us up for what we've got as we move into the sort of playoff zone.
Maybe getting a scrappy performance out of your system for next month as well.
Yeah, well, sometimes, and I've mentioned this before, that's grand final kind of weather, isn't it? And how many times have you seen grand finals become battles and kicking duels and in wet weather? And I think for us important that we had that today, and it set us up, I think. And you always want lessons. You don't get that many lessons out of a 60 points to nil victory, do you? It's generally you're just saying well done, boys. But here is there's a couple of bits we could be a little bit better at.
Pleasing that you can churn out a win as well like that, and win like you have done the previous weeks.
Yeah, well, sometimes you win ugly, don't you? The opposition have a fair bit to say about it. I thought there were some sort of different decisions out there today, but it is what it is. I thought it was a tough game. We worked our way through it. Boys are a bit beat up in there. There's sort of Gailey's got a cauliflower ear, and Max has got a broken nose. So probably when you get those sorts of things, it tells you the kind of game that it was.
Do you think some of the tactics went over the top, or were you quite happy with how physical it was within the rules?
Well, it's a physical game. I'd questioned one or two things there, but it is what it is. The referee's not going to get everything right, but there's some sort of shots over the top. But I'll let them deal with that. I'll just get our boys ready for what's coming ahead.
Just finally, you pleased for Jerry getting over it? Must have been an emotional week for him. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've known he's going to retire from the start. Even his agent were asking me if we were going to offer him another contract. I said, "Well, you want to have a word with him?" He said right from the start, it's a 1 year, he's retiring. I think he's got his boys to look after him in future, so he'll be all right. Those boys at Man City and Man United. So he's been phenomenal, to be honest. Just his personality, the way he's been around the place. Never mind what he does on the field. He's tough and physical and difficult to deal with. But for me, he's been a joy to deal with. I just think he's been great, and everything we've asked him to do, he's cracked on. We've managed him around a couple of bits because he's nearly as old as me, but he's been awesome. And you've got a couple of extra reasons to win it next month, haven't you? Gailey's going out as well.
Yeah, a few boys. There's obviously a few players leaving as well. That's what it's like every year in clubs. It's not often that you don't have players leaving. So there's plenty of reasons for us to win this. I think we've come a long way this season. We've worked exceptionally hard right from the start of pre-season. We've built I just think the coaching staff have worked hard to you know, when I first came in, there were no staff at all, and that we've built a staff. We've got a pretty special bond as a group of staff, and I think that then transmits to the players. And you know, if we can win, you know, the grand final, which, you know, is nothing given, there's some class teams in there. Then I think it will have been an unbelievable season, but there's plenty of work to do yet.
On Gale and McGilvey, McGilvey set Gale up for a try earlier in the game. Do the younger players in the squad, do you get the feeling they're learning from them in terms of how to not just be a professional on the pitch but off the field as well?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they give a lot, the senior players. There's quite a few of them here, senior players who give the time and experience to some of the younger boys. So yeah, I thought they're great. You know, I think the senior players have been outstanding throughout all my time at the club. So yeah, I've been really pleased with their input, and they've got plenty of experience. So you know, it's real good for them to hand it down. And obviously Gale is staying in a coaching capacity as well. So yeah, he's going to be doing plenty of that, which I think is awesome. I think he's going to be a great coach.
Was he taking credit for the PDRL team winning yesterday? Because I saw he was down at Castleford.
Yeah, I don't know. He hasn't said anything. Maybe you'd be able to hear him anyway, wouldn't you? You know, from the stands, he'd certainly give anybody a bit of advice, Gailey.
Hasn't been a great weekend for Super League in terms of competitiveness. Was this another great advert for coming to championship matches, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've won a couple of games easy, but you know, when you get a game like that where it's really tough and physical, yeah, they're the games you want to see, aren't they? You know, obviously conditions dictate a little bit, but I thought both teams had plenty of inventive play in there in difficult conditions. You want to see every level competitive, don't you? And there's a couple of teams that will be disappointed with the way they're going at the moment in the top tier, but yeah, for us, I think it's a good you know, level of competition. It's, you know, I think with whether you agree with it or not, the IMG stuff is raising levels in certain areas, and I think there's quite a few teams now you know, are really getting after getting in Super League and believe they can add to the competition, which it's all about.
Clearly investment has been one of the main things here, but IMG driven things like this new stand, the match day experience, because again, for those that don't come very often, it's been a fabulous day out.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The facilities are sort of, you know, that they were starting to come anyway. I think some of the things that the Ellis family, Matt and his family have done have, you know, over and above, and are really class things. And the feel around the place has got a real buzz about it. So yeah, I think the matchday experience and the way the club communicates within the social media, not that I do much of that stuff, but I think all those sorts of things have stepped up massively. You know, I think, you know, they're looking to make this a really outstanding matchday experience. You know, it's not just the matches; there's all sorts of things that go into that. And I know they're working hard on that. They have meetings all the time. I don't go to them, but Steve Mills does, and he's always my connection to that. So they're well organised, they're working hard to make this an outstanding experience, and I think it's getting better all the time.
Did you look at Hull KR and say that could be a model for us as well? We had to come down, we rebuilt the club on and off the field and with the facilities, and there's no reason why we can't be challenging at the top within a year or two.
Yeah, well, that's the aim, is to be super competitive. You know, I feel like we've signed high quality players for next season, and we're going to go and attack it. You know, we're not. You know, we've got to get in first, but we're not. You know, I believe we will, and we're going to attack it. I don't see any, you know, limping about. I think that's important. I think OKR have been through a journey, haven't they? They've been through a real journey, and it's, you know, I think they've got a bit more investment now, and you know, I think that match day experience there is fantastic. You know, I think the atmosphere that he's generated there is excellent, and obviously, you know, you'd want something similar here. You want to see full stadiums, don't you? That's what creates atmosphere and creates people's willingness to get involved, and I think OK have got it absolutely right, and that's something that, you know, we'll be aiming for, to make sure that this is a special place to come.